Okay, so I'm gonna start first, and I'm starting with a Darkrai EX here, so not the best start I could get, but at least I have two Hypnotoxic lasers, so I can try to prevent my opponent from maybe being able to do something specifically turn one. All right, Johnny for 7 definitely. Oh, I didn't play another Hypnotoxic laser to try to sleep my opponent. Never mind, I guess. One Mewtwo, energy definitely goes down to my Absol, and that's a bicycle, not the Acrobike. Oh, so many different cards, but so many similar cards with the name. So at least I managed to damage my opponent for 10. That's something. Okay, so computer search for my opponent on the other side for N and Colress. Let's see what he's trying to find. I mean, the good thing is that next turn I can just go with my Mind Jack, so far for 40. But if he put another Pokemon on the bench, it's going to be 60. And there is Squirtle, so double Colress energy, and Johnny Purr for 7. One more Pokemon. And next turn I can basically knock out my opponent's Suicune with my Absol, which is going to be pretty good. Oh, there's Hypnotoxic Laser on the other side. Well, if I fall down and I don't wake up, I can simply retreat. And that's not good. One energy to my Darkrai and N. I can still find Floatstone Keldeo. There is Floatstone, but no sign of the Keldeo, which means only one thing. I'm gonna play my Junk Arm here. There we go. One Junk Arm for, let's say, another Bicycle. I can definitely do that. One energy switch, so I can have one extra energy to my Mewtwo. Bicycle for 2. Sableye, not bad. Another Bicycle for 2. Come on, give me that Keldeo. No sign of the Keldeo, but the good thing is that I managed to get that Verbank City Gym. I'm going to take 3 damage counters, but also my opponent Suicune are going to take 3 damage counters, so I'm happy with that. Okay, so that was one random receiver for the Rals. Alright, nothing special. Colress for like a 7. At least that Colress is a huge one. Colress for 7. That's the beauty of the Legacy. And also expanded format. That's definitely beauty of the Legacy and expanded. So Smurgle, but unfortunately that portrait, it's gonna be for nothing. There's one Kyurem, he managed to get a Blastoise for the Deluge. Okay, so that Kyurem, it's gonna be pretty fat. Portrait for nothing, and he just decided to pass us the turn. Which means, oh, nice top deck, which is a Keldeo. Which means I'm gonna play my Hypnotoxic Laser. I'm going to retreat down to my Sableye, of course. So I can use the advantage of the Junk Hunt actually here. And I'm gonna take Bicycle and let's say one energy switch. Okay, so with the energy switch, I can use, I can transfer energy from my, let's say, oh no, why you decide to quit? Okay, I guess never mind. So waiting for my opponent and for the round 2. That was a very fast match, I guess. 5 minutes only. So I'm waiting for that game to start. Alright, so we are back to the game number 2. So I managed to win a coin flip, so I'm gonna start first. Let's take a look at the opening hand. Okay, so starting with the Sableye, I also have Ultra Ball for Keldeo, and there is Darkrai. So no Shaman in the Legacy format, unfortunately. I can use my Ultra Ball, definitely. Definitely Ultra Ball for the Keldeo, so I can have that rush in retreat. It's very important. This is a promo Zekrom. It looks so gorgeous. It looks so gorgeous. Definitely Oak New Theory instead of the M. And more than that, I can just attach energy and pass my turn. For the next turn, I can have that Juniper for 7. There is one level ball, which means a Zekrom and Electric. One of the probably strongest decks in the Legacy format. I must say that I actually like that deck. Oh, it's also Rayquaza inside. So I should definitely power up my Darkrai as fast as I can, so I can knock out that Dynamo on the bench somehow. So second level ball for another Dynamo. Good thing is that he discarded one Super Road and that there is 0 lighting energies in the discard pile. So that's definitely advantage for me so far. But once he can find 3 energies, that Rayquaza can just one-hit knockout any of my Pokemons pretty much easily. So one Juniper for 7. There is Mewtwo, Pokemon Catcher. Another Sableye. A Dark Patch, but I cannot use the advantage of the Dark Patch so far. What can I do? Pretty much Young Hunt for the Ultra Ball. And I'm thinking about getting that Ultra Ball for 2 energies, then Catcher, something like another Dark Patch. Okay, so Mewtwo EX is basically very bad against Rayquaza, because Rayquaza actually used the advantage discarding those energies. But so far, not the fastest start for my opponent. Still 0 lighting energies in his discard pile, but with the Ultra Ball, he can easily get energies in his discard pile and just use the Dynamotor and bring them back to the Rayquaza. Okay, so the first Lightning Energy is in his discard pile, and that Ultra Ball for the Zekrom, and Lighting Energy for the Keldeo. Of course, he can use the advantage of the Rashin Retreat. So right now my Pokemon Catcher and Hypnotoxic Laser are not going to be that effective. Who cares? I just need somehow to eliminate those electrics, because right now they are the biggest concern. So Ultra Ball for, let's go for the Absol. Absol is a pretty nice attacker here. 2 copies of Dark Patch for me. Let's see if I can hit heads with the Catcher. Yes, I can, which means that I can catch that electric. I'm all in that standard format. So Lysander, Pokemon Catcher. It's not the same, but it's a similar one. So 1 Oak New Theory. Okay, 2 Bicycles. I'm thinking about retreating down to my Darkrai. I'm gonna be able to knock out his electric, but also deal some damage to the Dynamo. More than that, I'm happy with that, definitely. 90 and 30. I mean, if I want to beat that Rayquaza EX with Celestial Roar and Dragon Burst, I definitely need to knock out my opponent's electrics. Once I can knock out his electrics, I'm more than happy. So he played that Sage Training. Look at the 5 cards, look at the top 5 cards, pick 2 of them and discard 3 of them. So pretty good to discard energies, definitely, to use them with the Dynamotor. Kind of good combo, I guess. Okay, Junk Arm. Let's see, Junk Arm can be for Level Ball, and Level Ball can be for Jirachi, for example, and Jirachi can be for Supporter. But it's going to be for Electric, of course. It's going to be for the Electric, and that's going to be the knockout against my Darkrai. Unfortunately, I need something like the Eviolite, so I can just reduce the damage for 20 against those annoying Rayquazas. 180, just like that. That was 180 damage, just like that. Okay, so Tool Scrapper, kind of nice card here. Let's see, Ultra Ball for Sableye and for the Tool Scrapper. Pretty much for nothing. I definitely need to attack with my Absol here. I need to deal some damage to his Rayquaza. So I'm gonna play my Bicycle for 2. Burbank City and the Laser, that's kind of nice. I still need energy to attach down to one of my Pokemons. Alright, another Bicycle. Energy. Down to my Darkrai, and 1 Juniper for 7. I'm down to like 11 cards. And I'm in a very, very dangerous position right now. That's gonna be a Mind Jack, and it's gonna be for 130 more from the poison. I could go with my computer search for something like Silver Bangle for 30 extra damage, but I didn't. I decided not to take that card yet, so I can use the advantage of computer search next turn. Unfortunately, I don't have. I have like one junk arm in my deck. I don't have more junk arms, so I simply cannot junk arm for the catcher and try to catch his electric on the bench. So another Dynamotor, and if he can somehow retreat, I mean he can with the Sky Arrow Bridge, then he can also knock out my Absol and put me in a big disadvantage. Which means that I will need to power up like Darkrai in a single turn. Is that possible even? In theory it is. But that's just in theory. Because I will need a couple cards here. The first one, of course, is going to be... The first one is going to be a Dark Patch, and the second one is going to be a Energy Switch. I can still get Energy Switch, since I can play my N and take 5 cards. There we go. There is a Energy Switch, and the good thing is that I also managed to find a Burbank City Gym. So right now I can strike for 110 and spread 30 damage to his Bansheed Rayquaza. So definitely next turn I can pull 2 prize cards, but maybe even 4. If I manage to pull 4 prize cards, then the game is definitely over. Good thing is that he can't knock out my Darkrai here. There is no chance that he can pull the knockout, so at least I'm gonna take 2 prize cards next turn. But who knows, maybe even 4? It really just depends. It really just depends. Okay, energy from his hand, and 1 Dynamotor, so he can at least go for 120, and turn after that he can knock out my Darkrai. But then, for example, I can knock out my opponent Rayquaza with my Mewtwo EX, and leave him basically without a attacker. So 120, 2 energy discarded. Top deck is a Burbank City, is a Hypnotoxic Laser, so I guess I can even pull something better here. Right now I can retreat down to my Sableye, play that Hypnotoxic Laser, knock him out with my Laser, and junk hunt for any 2 cards. So I can junk hunt for, let's say, any 2 cards. Let's say Energy Switch and another Energy Switch, or maybe better just Pokemon Catcher and Junk Arm, because that's gonna be all I need for the victory here, I guess. 2 prize cards for me, Professor Juniper and the Darkness Energy, Pokemon Catcher. I can use the advantage of the Pokemon Catcher, catching his Rayquaza for 2 prize cards. Oh, there is Pokemon Catcher for my opponent. Can he get heads? Yep, he can. So my Darkrai is gonna be knocked out. It's gonna be knocked out. If I decide to take... Okay. I can still knock out that Rayquaza with my Mewtwo. Yeah, I can. I can Junk Harm for like Energy Switch. It's gonna be enough for the knockout. That's for sure. But the problem is that I still need to take one prize. And I can even deck out myself. So X-Ball for 60. And now for the knockout. And it's all about that Pokemon Catcher. It's pretty much all about it Pokemon Catcher. There's also Super Road, so I don't need to worry anymore about decking out myself. So I can also just Super Road resources back. And yeah, if I can hit heads on the coin flip next turn, I can just Lysander. I can just Pokemon Catcher his Electric on the bench. So fighting in a Legacy with just a single Junk Arm is not that easy, but I must say that I'm doing it right now pretty good. And there's another Pokemon Catcher and another Heads. Oh no! Energy from his hand, and he can go for like a 60, but with a Dynamotor for 120, and he can use the Dynamotor, so it's a well played, it's a GG. At the end, that Sable actually cost me a game here, so well played. I can just say well played to my opponent. Alright, it was a close one, definitely. I'm gonna try basically play one more Legacy tournament, so this is the tournament number 2. And I'm waiting my opponent to load the game. Okay, so still loading the game. Still loading the game. Maybe I can get free win here, but I don't want to free win. I want to play. I want to play some good matchups here. Alright, so finally my opponent loads the game. So, would you like to go first? Well, yeah, definitely. I'm starting first, and no basic Pokemon. Same thing on the other. Oh, what the heck? Octillery, Palpitoad, Lugia Legend, Collector, Starmie, Crashing Hammer, whatever. It's a Legacy. You can expect to see pretty much everything. Oh, I actually forget to take one Jirachi in my deck. I need one Jirachi in my deck. Completely forget that. I really like my opening hand. Ultra Ball for Sableye, Bicycle for 3, after I put my Darkrai and Sableye on the bench, and still I can have like Juniper for 7. This is gonna be maybe turn 1. Night Spear for like a 90. Oh, what a nice top deck. Kill the EX. Okay, so Ultra Ball for 2 energies, for the Sableye, and then Bicycle for 3. And still I can play Juniper for 7. That's just insane. Really it is. So, Juniper for 7. I totally forget that I could even retreat. It's a little bit too late, so I'm kind of tired. And I also record like 3 hours in a row before this live stream, the deck that I will upload a little bit later. And it's actually a Darkrai Giratina Salaman CX deck for the standard format. I must say that it's just so damn good. I lost like maybe 1 game of 10. It's so powerful. I mean, turn 1 you can strike with that Beastly Fang for like 200 damage if your opponent have 4 EXs in play. So powerful. So there we go with 1 Pokemon Collector. Search a deck for up to 3 basic Pokemons. And show them to your opponent, put it in your hand. Which means that with the Pokemon Collector, you can actually search your deck for also EX Pokemons. I mean, as long as they are basic Pokemons, you can just grab them and put it into your hand. So double Squirrel for my opponent. There is one Palpitoad. Actually, Time Pole. I think that this Time Pole evolves into Palpitoad and then Palpitoad into Seismitoad. It makes sense. Staryu and Great Ball. Okay, I mean, unfortunately, my opponent does not have Tier 1 competitive deck. But that's the legacy. Sometimes you simply get top 3 Tier 1 decks like Rayquaza, and you simply cannot play against them, but sometimes you just get a little bit upgraded team deck to play against. And yeah, I was talking about Eviolite, and yeah, I should definitely play a couple Eviolites in my Darkrai deck, because Eviolites makes Rayquaza impossible to one-hit knock out Darkrai, because then they need 4 energies instead of the 3. And that's the only way how I can take the advantage against that annoying Rayquaza. It's gonna be Ultra Ball definitely, because it's gonna be also Juniper for 7. So, 1 energy to my bench Darkrai because of the possibility of the Dark Patch. There we go, speaking about Dark Patch. And that's just gonna be it for now. I can attack for 90 and spread 30 to the bench, which means that probably my opponent will not have time to even evolve into Blastoise, because I can right now just take every second turn 2 prize cards against my opponent, knocking out his low HP Pokemons. Okay, so Staryu in the front. So I guess I can compete to search for Catcher. Oh, or maybe not. That Ghetsis was a real deal. Really it was. Really it was. Well played. I should definitely say my opponent well played. Because it was. It was a pretty good play. I actually didn't expect to see Ghetsis. Okay, so Crushing Hammer. What else I can see? Ghetsis, Crushing Hammer, maybe even Hypnotoxic Laser from nowhere. I wouldn't be actually surprised to see even Hypnotoxic Laser. So, with 1 energy, he can go with the Spinning Attack for 20, but I think that... oh, it's not the round. I think there is one Seismitoad with the round attack, but not sure from what set. So another Night Spear for me, another 90 and 30 to the Palpitoad. And I can take 1 more prize, so I still have 4 prizes to take, but my opponent only have 2 Pokemons in play. Which means I can even win the game by just knocking out last 2 Pokemons that my opponent have, and I can then just go to the round number 2. So, Suspicious Sound Wave for 30, flip a coin if heads, the defending Pokemon is now confused. Well, that's good. Oh, Judge, okay. I mean, if you can confuse your opponent's active Pokemon, and also maybe put him in the poison mode with the Verbing City Gym. If your opponent hit Tails, he can take 6 damage counters. 3 from poison and 3 from confuse. And not be able to attack. That's very powerful. Heavy Ball for Seismitoad with the Splashing turn. Okay, that's the one who can actually switch your active with one of your benched Pokemons. There we go, Seismitoad the Plasma one. And also Seismic Punch can strike for 30 to each benched Pokemon, both your and your opponent. But the Squirrel has actually Shield, Shell Shield, and he can just prevent damage to the bench. Luckily, I managed to find that Darkrai, so it's going to be enough for the knockout. 110. Another prize for me, which is a N, but my opponent is in a very, very big problem right now because he only had one Squirrel in play. But I kind of like this Seismitoad with the Seismic Punch. It's a pretty good card for the Legacy, I should say that. I mean, for double Course Energy, you can go for 30. You can even go for more than 30 with the Deoxys in play. With 3 Deoxys, maybe for 60 and 30 to all Pokemon on the bench. I mean, yeah, Mr. Mime can be the problem, but you can also just catch her and knock out that Mr. Mime. So another level ball. Another level ball for another basic Pokemon for my opponent. Okay, so still waiting. Oh, so he just decides to concede. Okay, never mind. So let's move to the game number 2. Still waiting one more game to finish before the round number 2. But I mean, you can get pretty good cards in the Legacy format. I mean, the first place can actually unlock 3 Next Destinies booster packs and 3 Hard Gold, Soul Silver, Triumphant booster packs. In the Next Destinies, you can find that Full Art Mewtwo EX, and in the Hard Gold, Soul Silver, Triumph, I think there you can find Celebi actually. I think there is Celebi. Not sure, let's just see that. I think there is Celebi Prime. Celebi Prime is like a 50 packs. At least it was. At least it was. So, show not own it. Okay, so we have Absol here. Absol Prime is a very good card. Then what else we have? We have Banette with the Last Crush. Nothing special, but a decent card. Okay, yes, there is a Celebi with a Forest Bred in this Triumph booster packs, so I might be lucky and get another Celebi Prime. So the round number 2 is about to go. Let's go with the heads as usual. And I'm starting first, which is always good, especially if I can open with a Verbing City Chim and Hypnotoxic Laser. And my hand looks pretty decent. I should definitely say that. I can't complain. I mean, I have Ghetsis turn 1. In Legacy, Ghetsis can be very powerful. I mean, it can reveal your opponent's hand and it can force him to shuffle his item cards back into the deck. So look at this. Hypnotoxic Laser, Eviolite, Lost Removal, Junk Arm, and Eviolite. So Ghetsis for 5. Well played, GG, I guess. So that was so devastating. I can definitely say that. Ghetsis for 5 turn 1 is a nightmare for every player, I guess. So let's go with the Hypnotoxic Laser. I also managed to sleep his Smeargle. The good thing is about those older Pokemons, they actually had Pokemon Power instead of the ability, so they cannot actually use the Pokemon Power if they are affected with a special condition like the Smeargle it is right now. So there is one Dark Patch for my Darkrai. I'm very scared about that Landorus on his bench. Really, I am. So Dark Patch, number 2. And I'm passing my turn. Next turn, I can just knock out his Smeargle and spread 30 damage to his Landorus. He's depending on the top deck. And there's just a Mewtwo, so he can just pass the turn. He still didn't wake up, which means that I can just retreat down to my bench, onto my Darkrai, attach energy, and go with my Night Spear and spread 30 damage to his Landorus EX. So As long as my opponent cannot take anything from the top deck, I actually don't need to worry too much. I managed to knock out his Smeargle. There is Mewtwo, so even if he can top deck support a card for the draw, I guess he's not going to be able to attack with his Mewtwo without double Core's energy. So I think that he does not play double Core's energies since it's a Landers deck on the other side. Oh, there's a switch, so he can go for 60 and 30 on the bench. That's very aggressively. Really it is. Hammerhead for 60 and 30 to my Sableye. Okay, the top deck for me is gonna be just N. It's not just N, it's a pretty good card. Energy switch down to my Absol. And of course I'm gonna play N. So I need Verbing City Gym, but unfortunately I was not able to get one. So it's gonna be another nice pair for 90 and 30 to his Mewtwo on the bench. So what's next? He can go for another 60 and spread 20 and spread 30 to my bench. In that case, I can knock him out with my Absol, and then actually prevent him from being able to knock me out with his Mewtwo, because Mewtwo is going to be able to go for 80. There is one big tool scrapper for my Floatstone. Well played. So 60 again, and 30 to the Absol. That's fine. If I play Ultra Ball, I cannot Dark Patch. So I'm gonna still play Ultra Ball and then Juniper, who cares? Ultra Ball for nothing, of course, and Juniper for 7. Well, in theory, if there is another Dark Patch in my deck, and it is, I can pull another Darkrai here with like 3 energies and basically prevent my opponent from being able to knock out my Darkrai X and pull 2 prize cards. So sorry mate, but unfortunately for the day, that's not gonna happen. Pokemon Catcher and the Darkness Energy. So all I really need here is pretty much either way Hypnotoxic Laser. Yeah, I definitely need Hypnotoxic Laser, because I can go for 70 plus 60 is going to be 130. No, I need Hypnotoxic Laser because it's going to be 130 for plus 30 is going to be 160, and I still need Dark Clove for 20 more, so I need 2 cards to knock out with the single shot my opponent Mewtwo EX. So there is Jirachi. He desperately puts Jirachi on the bench. That might mean only one thing. He don't have another Pokemon in his hand. And that Hypnotoxic Laser was unfortunately Tails. But even if it was a Heads, I could still just stand in, actually rush in and retreat. I'm all about that. Standard format. So Bicycle for 2. And Oak's New Theory for 6. Look at this. I can Junk Harm, but I cannot after that play my... Okay. I'm just going to rush in, and after that I'm going to retreat. I can junk. I can Junk Harm. Yeah, I can knock him out. But the question is, will I have? Okay, there is Computer Search, so I need just that Dark Clove. So Computer Search for the Dark Clove. I'm going all in, of course, here, and there it is. Dark Clove, so I can add 110, actually 90, plus 30 from Laser. It's going to be enough for the knockout. So 2 more prize cards for me. And I'm down to 1 prize, which means that this Jirachi is going to be knocked out. And unfortunately for my opponent, this game is over, even if he can hands me down to 1. That's just not going to change things too much. There's 1 Max Potion. That's pretty good. Max Potion and Juniper for 7. I mean, in some crazy world, he can still recover from this situation. With the Landorus energy and the Hypnotoxic Laser knocking out my Darkrai, getting 2 prize cards here. But then still I can maybe find... No, I can't find my catcher because it's already played. Yep, he managed to get back from nowhere. But I still have enough resources to win this game. There is Professor Juniper for 7. And the Hypnotoxic Laser. That was the card that I was hoping to get, and I managed to get 1. So, if he don't wake up, then the game is over. But if he wakes up, he can knock out my Darkrai here, grab 2 prize cards, but turn after that I can just finish the game, striking for the 60 with my Sableye. So there is dual ball. And my opponent can right now search his deck for 2 Pokemon. So it's going to be Trubbish and it's going to be Mewtwo EX. I still have Mewtwo in my deck. So, oh no, I don't have. I discarded. Okay. 2 Trubbish on the bench. Hypnotoxic Laser, of course. But look at this. He desperately needs to find a Flowstone for the retreat. And there is 1 huge Colress. Colress is going to be for 8. Can he get the Flowstone so he can just retreat down to the Mewtwo? Yep, Junk Arm is going to be for switch. So he's still in the game. But the good thing is that Absol right now can strike for a lot of damage counters. And even worse, he can just scoop up his Landorus from nowhere. Come on. Speaking about scoop up, at least I have N for the next turn. That Hammerhead is enough for the knockout. 30 down to my Absol. Which means that it's time for the Sableye. And for the Junk Arm, of course. I need a couple catchers and stuff like that. So let's go with the N. Down to 1. I'm putting my opponent down to 2. But I'm in a much better position. Because I can Junk Hunt. I mean, I could even go with my Confusion Ray, but don't want to do that yet. So Hypnotoxic Laser, definitely. And the second one is going to be Pokemon Catcher, because if I can hit heads in the coin flip, I can just win the game. So that's all I really need. Hypnotoxic Laser and Pokemon Catcher. He's down to 3 cards in his hand. Hammerhead will be all in right now. I mean, that Pokemon Catcher is just must-have, and no, there is N, I'm going down to 1 card. And it's a Hypnotoxic Laser at least, okay, at least something. Hammerhead for 30, and 30 down to my Absol, which means I'm in a very bad position. That's for sure, so let's just put Absol in front. Looks like I'm gonna lose at the end of this game. Maybe. It's all about Hypnotoxic Laser. It's a Tails, so yeah, who would say that? Who would say that that scoop up was just a brilliant? Really it was. Really it was. So Hammerhead for another 60 and that's it. I mean, weakness. Weakness is all about... Landorus can go for like a 60 with 1 energy, and it can also spread 30 to the bench. In Legacy format, that's maybe not too much, but with the Hypnotoxic Laser at Verbeck City Gym, that's 90 damage, and you can go for 90 and 30 on the bench. That's for 1 energy, where on the other side, I can only go for like 90 and 30 with 3 energies. I'm definitely gonna crack the booster pack to see what did I get inside, so let's take a look. Hoping for that Celebi Prime. Okay, Magnemite and Magnetone. Magnezone Prime would be nice. It's a Victory Bell. I mean, okay, as long as Victory Bell is your active Pokemon, your opponent active Pokemon retreat cost is 2 more, but come on, dude. Who wants to play Victory Bell? Nobody. And what else did I get? What else did I get? I didn't get anything else? Or, what the heck? Oh, I get one X Destinies, but I cannot see it. Oh, there it is. So I'm gonna crack only one X Destinies and see if I can get maybe Full Art Mewtwo EX. That would be so nice. Of course, I'm always looking for the best. There's a Zapdos. Interesting thing that in the real life, the Reverse Foil Zapdos is the only card I was missing for my complete Next Destiny's Reverse Holo set, and it looks great. Okay, at least. That was a big comeback, I should definitely say that. So, I guess that's gonna be it for tonight's live stream. Once again, thanks everyone who actually watched this live stream, and thanks everyone who support me as usual. So stay tuned for the upcoming video. So with probably 1 hour from now on, I'm going to upload a Darkrai Giratina Salamence deck for the standard format. It's gonna be so good deck to watch. Also 3 good battles in this video, so definitely stay tuned for that. So once again, have a nice day, see you in the next video, and goodbye.